Hi, I'm Albert from Horn Fancy. I'm not a professional violinist. I like playing the violin. I think it's a lot of fun. But I've taught a bunch of kids how to play the violin, and I've taught them how to play Song for Christine. And I saw your video and I noticed a couple of things, and I just want to talk to you about them. So, first thing, let's talk about bow tension. Now, bow tension is easy to find. First of all, you got to make sure that your bow has rosin on it. If it doesn't have rosin, it's not going to work. And the whole thing needs rosin. What are you going to do? It's part of the physics of the instrument. We'll get back to physics later. So, you can loosen it all the way till it just gets loosey-goosey. And I personally believe that you want the loosest bow that you can play on that still doesn't hit the stick no matter what. That's going to be different for every bow. Some bows are better, some bows are worse. Invest in a better bow if you want a really good response. About a Coda Prestige, I think it's called, Prelude? I don't know, one of those two. It's a carbon fiber bow. It's not this one. This one a student gave to me years ago. Got over here. It's okay. It's alright. Sorry, Victor. But you're going to have to find this out on your own because, lo and behold, every stick is different. So you tighten her up. Then you put it right here on the violina. Put it in. Now, when I put just a little bit of pressure, I'm hitting stick. When you're hitting stick, no bueno. So just a little bit past that. And you can even start doing fun stuff. This one needs a little bit, this stick's a little bit worn out, you know, a little bit. It's been around a while. Bows don't last forever. What are you going to do? They're bows. But this is pretty good. And it's about, like we always say, a pencil thickness away from the hair. What are you going to do? That's good enough for what I want to do. And I imagine it's good enough for what you want to do. Because right now you're just looking at détaché bowing. No bouncing in the string, separate notes. That's what we're going to look at. And again, the looser the better. Because the looser the string, the more they grip the string. Excuse me, the looser the hair, the more they tend to grip the string. So I'm just going to keep taking it little quarter at a time till I learn where this bow really wants to be. And it's a little bit close. And then, just give it a half turn north. And I play it, and if I find it still hitting the stick when I'm playing, I'll give it another half turn and go from there. What I don't want is I don't want it like really far away. Now, the reason is, again, you're overstressing the bow, you're overstressing the hair. It doesn't want it. It really, really doesn't want to do that. And it's, when you let the bow work, this depends a lot less on the tension. If we're over-tensioning, again, we're just trying to compensate something that we are not doing. All right, so I watched your video, and you played Song for Christine. Couple of things. You don't use a shoulder rest. Fine. Don't use a shoulder rest. You don't have to. People played for hundreds of years without a shoulder rest. I do. I try to make all my students do it. You know why? Because it's easier. This instrument is already wickedly hard to play or learn. And, all this does is make it easier. And I'll tell you the same thing I tell them. If it's not comfortable, it's not sit upright, or it's the wrong shoulder rest for you. So go to a violin store, not your regular old Guitar Center or something, and find somebody who knows what you need. Because if you're just going to guess around and buy the cheapest thing, of course it's not going to work. It's going to suck. You want something that's adjustable, something that fits just right in here. Because check this out. I'm not even trying. It's a slippery shirt. I'm not even trying. And it just stays up. I play this all day long. Whatever. Like I said, slippery shirt, and it's getting caught on this cord here, so it keeps slipping. Love it. Now, I learned something from a couple of ASU violin professors. They said, put the button right here in the middle, move it to the side. And it's almost exactly where it wants to be. Now, I like to push it up just a little bit for comfort. And again, and the chin rest matters too. Now, you're playing here, which means that you're really north of the violin where it wants to be. Some people play like that. Some people do. Whatever. The reason why I like this is because when you put the button right in the middle of your throat and then move it to the side, it tends to go right to the middle of the throat. If you imagine a center place right here, right in the middle of the top of your head, straight down all the way down your body, you want that center line, which goes from here all the way down your instrument, pointing out that center in the middle of your throat. Why? Because when you bow, it will aim for the center. If it's too high like this, you're doing weird stuff. You're doing weird stuff. If it's too low, you're doing weird stuff. If it's pointed right in front of you, you're doing weird stuff. This allows for a nice triangle area. And for those of you experts who are watching this, yes, I know I'm still developing my arm. I'm working on it. I'm going to work with a young lady who's going to help me figure this part out. What we don't want to do is this. That's one thing I think we all agree. Now, I know there's a little bit that goes on here. Absolutely, we do want a little bit of arm, and anybody will tell you that. Anybody who plays violin for a living will tell you there's a little bit of arm motion here. But if that's all you got going on and you're pressing really hard, that's what you're going to get. Now, what I would recommend, start your bow right around here, a little bit past the thumb leather, and plan on moving it that far for every single note. And that will allow a little bit more freedom and allow the string to ring a little bit. So we put it right about here. And then we can get a nice ringy sound instead of it's like that by just using our hand. I missed a note. A little bit too loose. I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit. Just enough to keep the hair from hitting the stick. Now, not following my own advice, of course, I didn't rosin my bow before I started doing this, and this thing has been hanging on the wall for a little bit longer than I would have liked. Like I said, I got a different bow, but I like much better than this one. It's a lot more fun to play. And by the way, the better the bow, the more you will enjoy playing your violin, and you'll spend more time doing it. So, let's talk about bow hold for just one moment. Let's talk about bow hold for just one moment. Want your thumb a little bit bent, the frog, where the frog meets the stick. The pinky is going to balance the bow. If your pinky is like this, it's really kind of weak, and it's tough to keep up the stick. If you bring it up just a little bit, it's nice and curved, you can try tapping. If you can tap the bow, you're in good shape. Always use two hands to do this, by the way. And your other finger's a little bit high here. Lots of different bow holds that exist. I'm not the be-all, end-all. You can look up all those different videos on how to hold the bow. But this is what I like. Not too much this way, definitely never this way. But every finger is doing something. So I've got, this is controlling the pivot. This is controlling the amount of up and down. And this adds pressure when I need it. This third finger, not doing a whole bunch of nothing. Just let it hang around, not doing anything. And you don't want it like this, and you don't want it like this. You definitely don't want your fingers like this. So you're going to have to find that on your own, or again, get a teacher to help you out. Now, let me go back. I didn't finish explaining about this whole shoulder rest. And yes, you can play without a shoulder rest. It's not fun, but you can do it. This is what I would recommend. Find a if you really don't want to use a shoulder rest, you don't need one. But what you do need is to find a teacher that will teach you how to play without a shoulder rest, because it is a different technique. And almost every video that you find on YouTube showing you how to play the violin is somebody who is using a shoulder rest. It is a different technique. You get around the instrument differently. You use your hand to hold it up. And you're moving your thumb around and doing stuff like this. And I don't teach this way. And again, lots of people did it for hundreds and hundreds of years. But what we discovered, we use one of these little bad boys, then I have complete and total freedom. Some people still play without one. Good for them. It's a lot more work, I think. And if you're not going to sit there and tear up the concert stage, get a shoulder rest. You'll enjoy it more. Like I said, one that you like. Slow down Song for Christine. Connect the notes a little bit more. Just a couple of tips. I hope you enjoy. Have a great time.